This map is part of a large installation by Marko Peljhan called Territory 1995, and the work dates from 2009 to 2010. It's on loan to Framer Framed from the Abbemuseum. It's in their collection. You're looking at one part of the installation that is this map. There are two other maps on the other side. There are maps on the back wall, some books, some literature. It's both an immersive installation and documentary material. And then inside this cube is the other part of the installation. It's a series of plexiglass sheets hung from the ceiling of a sound-insulated room on which communication and strategic maps are drawn out. And there's a sound component with archival material drawn from the ICTY archives, among others. This is typical of the way that the work is installed, with one volume inside and then material outside. How does this installation represent Srebrenica?
I think it shows several things. On a very basic level, it brings the fall of Srebrenica and its planning, so the ultimate fall of the enclave and the genocide that took place. It brings that event into the space. It represents it from a military perspective. One of the reasons why that is so important and remains so important is because there's a lot of genocide denial. In present-day Srebrenica, people deny that the genocide happened. I think what it shows is the machinery that produced genocide, the meticulous way in which it was planned, which politicians were involved. And it shows the kind of scale and number of people that were necessary to execute something like that.
So these are aerial and nautical maps showing flight pattern routes used for wayfinding by people that were overflying the territories. The material inside, the sound is taken from radio communications between Serbian military forces at the time of the fall. There's a real presence of people who were directly involved in the genocide. It represents the event from a really different perspective, but it's very indexical to that site.
It brings the perpetrator quite literally into the exhibition space.
So it positions the viewer as a bystander to the event, but bystander to a different perspective than Anna Hoffner's bystander. That the bystander is many different positions and has to be thought through in all of those potential positions in order to understand the stakes of that role.
Definitely. I mean, it starts with these UN soldiers that were bystander to the event of genocide, bystander. But who do they stand by? Do they stand with the victim or the perpetrator? This whole idea that bystander is neutral to the event of genocide is quite problematic. So this work does some work of positioning the viewer in a different kind of relationship to the event, I think.
I also want to highlight something. These are really different drawings. They have a really different truth claim value. They're read scientifically, objectively, perhaps, especially the maps. And yet they are also a drawn representation of a territory. They do some kind of work that is similar on a structural level to the kind of work that's being done by the drawn mark. That there's a real thread of hands drawing lines on space, and that determining the course of history.